increasing calls for all of us to invest in young girls and young boys, because investing in young people in our continent is a big future dividend. We need to be looking at that. But also we know that the previous speaker was highlighting the issue of absent fathers. Statistics South Africa actually released a report last year highlighting that about 48 households, if I'm getting this right, have absent fathers. And you need to think about the implications of that in terms of where we get role models who are fathers, who are able to provide us with some knowledge and experience in terms of how that happens. But we also know, and it has been highlighted today, that the issue of teenage pregnancy is a huge issue in our country and in our continent as well. The issue of early child marriages for girls, and the implications of that, of all these things that I've highlighted, is that first of all, we do not have positive role models, not enough positive role models who are men, and that has implications in terms of how our society translates itself. But also the other issue is that young girls and young boys and everyone is robbed of good opportunities that they should be experiencing, education, economic empowerment, and enjoying their rights. And before I start my session, while my panelists are preparing themselves, I want to read a paragraph of the letter that our Executive Director, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, wrote to young girls recently. As you all know, that on the 11th of October, we were commemorating the International Day of the Child, of the Girl Child. And she wrote, and I think that you need to Google this letter and read it, both boys and girls. She said, "This is a critical time for the girls of our world. It is a time for the protection and assertion of rights, a time to listen hard and speak louder, no matter how difficult, to call out the continuing imbalances of power, to band together and take a stand on the changes that must happen so that girls and women are heard and their experiences are taken seriously. It is time to act together with men and boys on the issues that will determine and lift equality for all, central, which is the ending violence against women and girls." So UN Women as an organization has adopted an approach that in order for us to achieve sustainable development goals, we need to focus deeper on gender equality. And that's why SDG 5, which is the gender equality one, is very important for us. But part of what we are doing as an organization is to mobilize men to be part of the solution, because we do recognize that they are part of the problem, but also they are part of the solution. And we need to bring them together as part of this. We have launched a campaign, which is a He for She campaign, and which is a solidarity campaign, calling all men across the globe to be able to contribute to this. Having said that, so I want to turn to my panelists and just talk about what it means to be a man in today's world.
Thanks, Mama, for the question. It's a difficult question to answer, because currently we at a point where even men, it's difficult to define themselves, because you define yourself in terms of character. And if you're a Xhosa man, that's how you know yourself. I go to the bush, I come back a man. So now, how do you define yourself in this situation, in this whole dynamics? it's tough. I don't know, it's tough. But you know what? The reality is one, is that we're born as male and female. And male and female have a certain role. So if there's a leg and there's an arm, both have different functions, but both are important for the body to function. So if now I'm talking about a man in this society, I'm talking about a person who has to play a role in terms of furthering the nation. Not just furthering the nation in terms of security, but both a secure place where women and also men can live a life without having fear or have to always ask themselves of, well, who's better than the other, but create an equal society where people can work together and grow the nation together. That's how I see it.
Okay, thank you very much. Basanda?
Moses.
Moses, sorry.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you?
Yeah, like it's difficult to defend a man, as he said, like because nowadays we don't have an attention like girls, because many campaigns are only focused on girls, not men. So that's why now corruption is high, because we don't get attention that we need. So they must come up with a solution that even boys must get an attention so that life can be easier. So it's difficult to define a man at this situation because we don't have an attention. So the only thing that you can define yourself is that you are a man, you are a supporter, so a father, take care of the community. Only that. Yeah.
Gabriel, what's your thoughts about this?
Good morning, everyone. You guys are sleeping. You are sleeping. Please switch your cell phones off. Put them away, please. The first thing you're going to have to do here. One is that you're expecting people to respect you, but you are not respecting the people in front of you. And I've been observing you. Put your cell phones away. Thank you very much. It is difficult to be a man. If someone wants to come and destroy your home, he kills the man. He destroys the man. It is difficult to be a man in the current society because you go to work and you get humiliated. And sometimes when you come home, people don't understand the frustration you're going through. I will take a simple example. Lerato is here, she knows me very well. I try as much as I can, as a man, to understand myself, to lead myself from inside. Because there's no one who's going to lead you, by the way, but yourself. It comes from within. I'm going to take one of you and I'm going to ask them to stand up. I'm going to choose. Stand up. Stand up. What do you think is good for you to do to yourself? Yes. What will be good for you? Any action in the universe, any action. Take one action. I'm going to ask you the question in a different way. Is it good for you to steal?
No.
Is it good for other people to be stolen from?
No.
Then don't. Then don't. Then don't. Are you getting me? Men and women, I'm going to go to men and women.
So the question is, what
The difficulty, well, yes, why it's difficult to be a man? Yes, I'm still there. That's why I'm talking to the younger. Because there's no man without a girl. We try to separate it. The young man just said it. We try to separate them. We need to bring them together. It is difficult to be a man. And I repeat, the reason why a child in a home sometimes doesn't follow, the reason why the child, girl's child or boy child is destroyed, because sometimes you sit with one parent, and parents have different roles. And if the man is not there, and if he's not, people don't listen to him, then what you expect the child to be? You come to a home, I come to a home, and I meet, let's say I meet you, you have a child, and I meet you as a woman. And I want to teach your child to be right. And behind my back, you teach a child something else. How would it feel for me to be a man? But it also feels very bad for men to be powerless. Powerless. Unable to be. If this young man here goes among these girls, there are 5 of them, and start trying to teach something that will help them in their lives, because society has taught them a different way, they stop him. A man is there to be killed. Remember what your Bible that you read all the time says, the man will be killed for the house to drown. My son, when he fails, I don't tell him you failed. I say, come on boy, you can do it. And my daughter, when she says, Daddy, but I can't do it, I say, you can do it, come on. And if, as a man, you don't give me the power to do that, as a mother, then it's difficult to be a man.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you have started to highlight some of the things that could be done to change how men do things, instead of identifying with, for an example, violence, to be able to assert their power. You have highlighted the issues of we need to engage, we need to look at strategies that should be working
And that
to
works together.
challenge.
Yes.
I'm not sure about giving power to men and taking it from women, though. I think that we need to all try to, what's the word? Bring the, we all have the power within ourselves
Oh,
to
yes.
change things. And I think that it's really important that at a certain point of our lives, whether it's in the home, workplace, in the streets and so on, we don't feel that power is taken away from us. So it's really important that we latch on our power within ourselves. But you all have done very interesting stuff in terms of your work. Moses, can you tell us a little bit about what has been the core focus of what you're trying to do to change the status quo?
Can you please repeat the question?
So what have you been doing as Moses in terms of the mentorship program that you're involved in and the work that you're doing to change the current situation?
I was just sitting at home. I was just sitting at home without knowing that there's opportunities outside. Then I started to work out on my mind to find an opportunity that I am now. So I went to Deep Sleuth Mountain Bike Academy. Then they took me to a Columba leadership camp. So I was trying to be a leader. Then, after that, I was selected to be a senior captain to teach young boys and girls how to train and how to behave. Then,
Let's give him, that's really good,
after that, I was just there doing my own job. Then I met Miss Lira Junior, and she asked me to come and help their girls with maths because I was doing maths in grade 11 and grade 10, but now I'm in grade 12. I changed maths. I'm doing maths lead because maths is difficult in a way. Yeah. So yeah, got there and helped them, and Ms. Lera told me that you have a good potential and you are a true leader. So you must stick on yourself and be a true leader and focus on your future.
Thank you. Masanda, you've also been very active in trying to change the world for the better so that we are able to achieve the 2030 agenda by 2030, which is achieving gender equality. Tell us, what have you been involved in?
Look, when I came to Gaelic Night, it was by, I don't know, by mistake or by what. My plans in life were to raise up men, young boys to men. That's my passion since varsity. I came to life, and then, but then I met Lerato Mahlangu while in varsity. But we became friends and we talk. And then come 2016, I think late 2016, I'm asking her, what are we doing next year, 2017? And said, there's something happening, I'll let you know beginning of the year. So come 2017, I asked her, and then what do we do? And said, okay, come, there's a organization I wanted to come and do tutoring for meds. So that's how I ended up in the Gael Ignite. So it was like a culture shock to me. The whole thing was all over the place. But my mentality when I go to Gael Ignite was not to say, now it's women, I'm gonna share less of what my passion is about to raising up men. So maybe it's like God's plan to say, look, before you go and deal about how you raise up men, let's see how you're gonna raise up young girls to women. So anyway, 2017, I became one of the mentors with doing tutoring meds, and from there, it's been an enjoyable journey. When you see girls who start, like sometimes I see myself in them, when you sit in a class and like you don't want to say a word and you're forcing them to speak. And with a space of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times they come to class, they then blossom. They're able to be comfortable. And when you teach them maths and they're able to understand some concepts, and the confidence, then it builds up. So once I got that, I feel like this is a place I need to be. This is a place where I need to invest my time, because now I have a Saturday that I can decide to just sit at home and sleep, which I want to do. But then I say that there's a young girl coming from Dipslot who's the same as a girl from home, from Eastern Cape, who has not the opportunity for a maths teacher in front of them to teach them. Mm-hmm. So if I can take my time and go and teach, then I can change that young girl's journey to be better. So that's why I'm part of Gaelic Night. I invest my time, during the week time, to think about what can I do for that person who doesn't have an opportunity to get better.
Sure. So the next question I want to ask you, based on why you started in terms of what is, how does it feel to be a man in today's South Africa and what we have done, can you reflect a bit in terms of your personal journey, what this has meant, this work that you have done has meant for you at a personal level?
I think now I have niece at home. I think sometimes maybe I relate better with her. And also what she does in life, it encourages me to say, look, if my niece can do this at home, the girls, when I'm going on Saturday, I'm gonna say this is what my niece did. You better do better, or you need to reflect. Look, I'll give you an example. One of my nieces in Eastern Cape, so she's struggling with maths. She's all over the place. When it's time to play, she plays. When it's time for school, she doesn't want to go to school, or she plays at school, whatever. But now, one of my cousins started to sit with her and just showing up, go through the studies. And then she got some of the concepts. She started doing homeworks. She started to do things better. Now, the break, I think it was June. So one of mine said, okay, when are you going to school? School is opening next week. And said, no, I'm ready. My books are sorted and everything. Because once she said that to me, I realized that she's playing at school because she always maybe saw herself as a stupid one. So going to school, it's a mission now. She can't relate to everyone because I feel like I'm not important to the next person next to me. So even then, you can change that person by assisting them to understand their schoolwork. Now, when the problem is done, they can able to also participate. They're not that kid that's sitting for the teacher now to show this is how the problem is solved. They are part of the kids that come up with solutions. Then the next day when it's school time, she's willing to go to school.
Sure. But on a personal level, do you think this experience has made you, what are the insights? Has it made you a better man?
I guess.
Has it?
Look, for me, people will what do you call this thing? Will describe me as an introvert. Yeah? So I'm all about myself. If I sleep at home, I study to it. But then it takes me out of my comfort zone. So now I'm able to find how the next person is. So I'm going an extra mile in life. Of the whole experience is pushing me to think not just about myself, but about the next person.
All right. Moses, let's come to you. Can you give us a little bit of reflection about your personal journey in doing this work and how has it changed you? How has this work that you've done changed you as a person? Has it made you a role model? Has it made you a better man?
It has made me a better man because now I can behave. You can come to me and tell me your problems, then I'll help you to solve them. Because I know how to solve problems by just talking. So I'm good in integrity and creativity. So yeah, the thing of being a leader is a role model to others, and it makes me be a better person. So, yeah.
Sure. Thank you. And Gabriel, you have done quite a lot of work at tertiary institutions, and you've also do work in business. Can you tell us about, what I would really want you to talk about is how are you using the spaces that you have to show up for women and girls and young boys who do not have role models, but also if you can reflect a little bit about what does it mean to you? Is it making you a better man? Do you think it's making you a better man? And yeah.
I believe I'm a free man of good repute, and you are what you believe you are. I'm a free man of good repute, in the sense that my freedom does not stop me from thinking about others. My journey has been a long journey. My education, I've been through a lot, and I'm encouraging all the kids around here to do that. BSc, BSc honors, CPFA, MBA, good job, big companies. And then I moved to a new complex. My daughter was born. My son was already big. My daughter was born. And I saw the kids growing up. It's a beautiful place. But I realized that 90% of the kids don't have role model. So they look for a person to go to. And they call me Uncle Choma. The name is Uncle Choma, and they come to my house. When a small bubble, Uncle Choma, can you help? Sometimes they come just to have a plaster for fun, but Uncle Choma must be there. And our society has pushed men away sometimes in the sense that sometimes people think every man is a pedophile, isn't it? And I've been with her now, my daughter is 6 years, I've been with her now 6 years. I saw all of them being born and growing up. And I said to myself, hang on a second, you sit in this organization, you were lecturing at this business school part-time, you're doing all this stuff, you're empowering people in leadership, you empower people in entrepreneurship. What about the kids? How many of you know how to start a company? How many know how to start a company, how to develop a business plan? Very few, and that's where we're heading at. My job today, except for consulting, is to start an academy where we're going to start teaching the kids extramural on the Saturdays. They're going to come to us and we're going to push them in a role. The kids are going to, from grade 10, they're going to learn how to lead themselves first and how to lead a company, how to manage the operations, how to manage the money, how to develop a business plan, how to be innovative and creative. Because we believe that the universe does not upload thoughts. The universe uploads actions. And I want these young kids here, we're gonna actually, I was talking to Rolando now, we're gonna adopt 5 of them. I don't know which one. The naughty one who are on the phone are gonna be part of us. Who wants to be part of the team? Who wants to be a businesswoman? Oh, look at them, they're all raising their hands, so we're gonna take care of you. So that's, and it makes me feel good about myself. It's not about money, it's about giving. Because receiving is not important. The fulfillment in life is what you give, it's about what you give. So that's where we're heading to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And the last question before I give some of you a chance to ask their personal question is that we have a huge task ahead of us. 2030, our executive director has assessed that it should be a year where we see parity and gender equality between men and women. What that means is that the issue of education or lack of education should have been addressed. The issue of ending violence against women and girls, employment, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, and all those issues need to be addressed. So in parting, I want to ask my panelists, what is it that they think that we should take forward and put emphasis on to address the issue of how mobilize more men to play a role in being part of this movement, one, and what are the issues we should be focusing on?
From my side is that it starts with the family, these things. And I think is the one panelist saying that it's always difficult to start for everyone to talk to each other because you are called Uncle Choma and then everyone's asking what is Uncle Choma doing with the kids. So by now the question is that the community needs to participate in the programs that we take upon, both men and women. So the role of men going forward is to make sure that we don't just maybe impart onto only girls as it's very important, but now we encourage the same participation, mixing girls and boys, and making sure that they have equal footing in what they do. We invest in with our times, and they go differently, but it's not about the competition between them, but always showing that, so seeing that what the best strength between the girl and the boy in terms of growing. We just invest on that, but we do have to invest that as a family, as a community. If we don't grow with this as a community, someone opens their own NGO and they run it alone and someone keeps on dumping their kids. It's a problem that we're seeing with our schools, that parents just drop the kid and leave and say, no, the teacher will deal with it. So we need to participate in every development of the child in school, as parents, as big brothers with our niece or like uncles and our niece, so that we know what's the growth of the child when you go to school. We know if they're joining a certain NGO, what is needed to be done there. Can I go and also volunteer my time in that NGO that the person is? If it doesn't have for me to run my own NGO, if someone is running an NGO, can I go and then assist? What do you need on a Saturday? Do you want me to clean up the room? Do you want me to just look at the kids when they paint or something? So the whole thing is that it's all about the community.
Yes.
The community and the family need to come together so that it no longer become one person driving, is it a girl or is a boy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I don't have much idea in this question, but I will try to answer it. I'll focus more in the issue of this women empowerment, not men empowerment. So the issue is that if we don't focus on both men and women, only women will be successful and boys will suffer, because they won't get an opportunity to study hard and be successful in life. So this program of gender equality must improve so that all men and women must be successful in life, because if men are not successful, women will end up being alone and not respecting men, because men are not educated. You get my point? So the gender equality program must be improved so that all men and women have the same life and we live in the same situation.
But you know that the gender equality project is not only just about women. It is about, I started by saying, it is about men as part of the problem and men as part of the solution as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Basically, okay, that's my thoughts. So, I can be right, I can be wrong. As a young man said, we tend to focus too much on one gender. We have a process in general where we bring young men and young girls together, and we put them 2 by 2 in a corner. And there's an A and a B. And while A is talking, B doesn't say anything. Do not answer. Do not say anything. Do not comment. Let A tell you what he or she feels inside. Externalize everything. And when the whistle goes on, we alternate. The other one will tell the opposite sex exactly what they feel, the experience that they go through in life, the difficulty, the challenges that they go through in life. And at point in time, people start understanding each other. Just imagine yourself walking on tiles, and one tile decide to lift itself above the others. What will happen? Will trip, isn't it? So what do you think the universe is tripping? It's because some people think they're superior to others. And the reason why they think they're superior to the others, because they do not try to understand others. Remember, young lady, stand up. Stand up. I want a boy. Where is the boy? One boy here. When you, come, one young boy, come here. I want a young boy. Not a shy one. Yes, I like you. The man in black. Come here. Come. Stand in front of her. Can you think? Can you think? Can you think? Do just the same. Can you talk? Can you talk? You can. Yeah. No, it's not obvious. If you don't answer, maybe you can't. So, what the universe did, and that's what I teach kids. What the universe did is just put a soul, a spirit inside a female body, and a soul and a spirit inside a male body. That's the only difference. But you're just the same. What she is capable of doing, you can do it. And what you are capable of doing, you can do it. By the way, I can cook better than my partner. I can wash clothes. She runs away from it. I can iron. She doesn't want to do it. But sometimes you find her washing the car. She says, "Babe, I just washed the cars." And you will say, "But that's the main job." That's not the main job. Cooking is not a woman's job. And as soon as you start understanding that, you start living at the same level. And that's what we need to do. We need to encourage fathers who have run away from their children to come back to the children. But you must also encourage the mothers who chase the fathers away to be softer to them, because both situations happen, isn't it? So
Sure.
that's how you're going to address this.
You've made your point. Thank you very much. You can sit down. I think that, you've heard the panelists. I want to give it to you to ask the specific questions that you have about this issue. Do you think that is just a matter of we focusing a lot on girls and neglecting boys? Do you think that there's a level playing field, men and girls are free to just go and get this equality we are talking about? Do you think that we should be helping men to change what they think and how they think and what they do? What are the questions that you have for the panelists?
The question I want to ask is that based on the logo. Let's say it's saying that it said that men don't cry. I know that most people, like most men, think men don't cry, and when expressing your feelings as a man, do you feel that you less men because you've expressed your feelings in a way? Because most women, we expect women to express their feelings, but when it's men, we tend to be shocked by what they're doing. So do you feel less men when you've expressed your feelings?
Thank you. Very, very good question. Another one? Let's take two for now.
We're
and
taking
then-
to somebody else who hasn't said anything. I'll just go to the back. We'll come back for your next question.
Hi, my name is Nikita. I wanted to ask, how do you get a girl child to understand that males or men are not necessarily competition, but they can be partners towards reaching one goal?
Sure. Panelists, can you take those two questions? Yes.
So answer point. Look, we grow up like saying that men don't cry. You do cry. You don't have a choice. It's life. That's why people then have what you call depressions and stuff, because you don't express yourself. But there's one thing about life is that you need to have a mentor. You need to have someone you can talk to. You need someone who's either a father or your mother or someone that you look up to that you can talk to. So if you don't have that place to vent your frustrations and stuff, then you have that problem in life. So look, that needs to change. That thing of men don't cry. You don't define by what other people see. You define by what you as your character is built up. So for me, I don't believe in that. To answer the second question.
Yes, please answer the second question as well.
The second question was about? Sorry. Kendra? Or how to tell a girl child how to equal to a man. Assembly. Look, for me, I'm not about teaching to compete or to do anything about a man. I'm just I think the girls from Gaelic Night will tell you, I'm saying that there's absolute truth that I believe in, that you are born and you die. Between that time when you're born and you die, you need to live your life. So the life that you are born to, you need to live that life. So I'm not after to say you need to be equal to a boy, but you need to live the life that we're born to. So for me, is to find every opportunity like this to come to a summit to get better. That's what I encourage young girls, even the boy that I have a nephew, to say, look, live your best life. Find someone who can assist you to live your best life, not to really compete to the next person.
Yeah, I will start with the question of take a girl's child. So, if you want to be equal, we must share ideas and know the problems of each other. Like, be together, always be together, and have a mentor that can mentor you how to be equal to a man. Yeah, so this question says that men don't cry. That's a lie. We cry a lot, because if you don't cry, we'll be depressed, because you must take out the feeling that you feel inside your heart.
I think the question was, men are not allowed to cry, which is a different thing. So, are not allowed to cry, and when they cry, they get laughed at, and right? Yeah.
That's so rude. We must cry so that so that we can take what we feel. Yeah, because if you don't cry, you'll get depressed a lot and will end up being stressed. So you must cry and share the ideas while you're crying, because that thing eats you inside. Yeah.
So we must give all men space to cry, right? Yeah. Right, Gabriel?
Young lady, men cry. I watch a movie and I see tears. And someone next to me say, Gabriel, you're crying. I say, oh, sorry.
Sorry, what?
No, because society taught us that remember in our society as a Bantu, we were taught that when there's an issue, a man needs to be the guardian. That's exactly why, if you see the old huts in the village, the men were supposed to sleep by the door, and the women and the kids just further down, so that if there's danger, because of his physical strength, he can fight easily. In general, we try to be equal in everything. Impossible. We are morally and spiritually equal. But if I ask you, Ayanda, to lift a certain weight, like if you're not a bodybuilder, you may not be able to.
But that's not a measure of equality.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you here. Mm-hmm. People see sometimes equality in a wrong way. Equality is moral and spiritual, in the sense that I build on the 4 quadrant of life. Let me finish this. I build on the 4 quadrant of life.
I want to give the audience time to answer questions.
I'm going to finish with that.
So yes, please finish quickly.
The 4 quadrants of life. Remember, is it good for you? Is it good for me? Yes. Is it good for you? Yes. I should do. That's equality. And equality must be across board. Is it good for me? Yes. Is it good for her? No. Don't. Just don't. Is it bad for her? No. Is it bad for me? Yes. Don't. If it's bad for both of us, don't. As soon as you try to understand that which is good for you and for your neighbor, male or female, then you start building equality, and that's the level at which men and women should sit. Respect each other. Don't punch a woman because you will not want a woman to punch you. That's it.
I mean, I'm glad you used that example because for some men it's good to beat a woman, but for women it's not good to be beaten. So you never. And that's where the problem is. You don't get to have the same understanding about what needs to happen. And that's the source of discrimination and inequality. But we will come back to that.
Okay.
For now, I want to take a last round of questions from our audience. Can we have a young man asking a question? Young man. The young man sitting there, the back. The one who's leading. No. Any of them, don't they have questions?
I'm looking for a question from a young man. They're sitting here at the back, acting all innocent. Guys, what's your question to the panel? You don't have a question. You haven't been listening. So they're talking about girls versus boys and you don't have a question. Are you guys okay with being called, you guys need to be stronger than girls, you guys need to kick the ball harder than girls? Is that what you guys believe? Would you like to add something? Would you like to ask something to the panel? Panel? So there was a young girl here who I skipped the last time. I can't remember. It was...
Hi, my name is Mbalenhle Mgwini. I'm from Allen Secondary School. I'd like to ask, since you said that men don't get attention, is that the reason why they go to such extents to get attention? And Sir Gabriel, you said that there is no one who will lead you if you don't lead yourself. I'd also like to understand, how can one lead themselves regardless of having such platforms and people to lead you? How do you lead yourself?
So you guys got the questions from her? Does she need to repeat?
I will answer, that's fine.
Okay.
With respect, I will stand up for you. And I'd rather do that, because if I don't show you that respect, I don't respect my own daughter. You have the power, and no one has the power. You take your car, you drive in the street. Isn't it? Okay? You're driving. What do? You're busy driving. Do you get worried about others? What do you make sure that you do? You make sure that you don't go astray on the road, isn't it? And you check around you, you become cautious, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like walking in the dark. You try to find out if there's no one who's going to hurt you, isn't it? But who does it? Yourself. Can you stop me from hurting you? But you can ensure that you're not on my path, isn't it? That's leading yourself.
But sir, that's the same reason why we have stop signs and red lights.
Imagine you didn't have any of them. Thank you. So there are rules in life. Understanding yourself. What in you can hurt others and what in you can hurt yourself. You know that. If you steal from someone, you're hurting the person, isn't it? You know it's wrong, isn't it? But you also know what that which is good, isn't it? So why can't you draw the boundaries between right and wrong? Just do that. Every single day of your life, draw a boundary between right and wrong and say, okay, this is bad, I'm going to curb and subdue it. And this is good, I'm going to take it out to the world because it's good for me, it's good for others, so let me take it out to the world. And that's how you lead yourself. But you can never lead others, by the way. I can't lead you, I can just facilitate. The gentleman is here, he can't lead you. This one can't lead you. No one can lead you, not even your parents. They can facilitate. But you need to be conscious. There's good and there's wrong. Let me choose that which is good and do that which is good. Must I study or go out? What do you choose? Study, good for you.
You lead yourself. And you lead your action from inside, not from outside. That's it.
All right, thank you. Do you want to respond? No?
No.
No comments? Asanda. Okay, any final comments from the audience?
Doctor wanted to ask a question.
Yes, sure.
Oh, I have to stand. Oh gosh. Okay. No, it wasn't a question. Actually, it was a comment, because I think Gabriel is bringing forth certain concepts, and he speaks like a man. That's the basis of my argument right now. He has said two very, very powerful things. He says, not even your parents can lead you. And he says, choose every day. But for you to choose, you need to be awake. You need to be conscious. And there's this word of notice and being awake. But who's going to awaken you? And I think the young people, that's what they are crying about. How do you get awake? Awake is not, my eyes are open, the heart is beating, I'm breathing. Awake means something in you, somewhere here in the center of you, knows what is right and wrong. And where it comes from, this awakeness, because we are born conscious actually as children. If you notice, children will not go to a person that their energy feels like, They will not go to something that their body tells them, all right? So we are born conscious, but as we grow up, everybody tells you, shh, ungakhulumi, you are black, shh, don't talk, you are black, shh, don't talk, you are a female, shh, don't talk. So something, our little voice inside gets shut down. Okay, so how did I get conscious? Which is what, Gabriel, I was hoping you would get there. You know, I want you to get there and let it be you who says it. Yeah, we didn't awaken you and I. Just, you know, how do you awaken Moses? How does he know he's a leader? How do you awaken him?
Okay, I'm going to try to do that. Beautiful. You come, young lady, stand up. Yeah, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me. What's your name? I saw you coming in and I saw, what a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
Because you are. How old are you?
14 years.
14 years old. Brilliant. Okay. If I put you next to a swimming pool and you can't swim, will you jump in? Why?
Because I'm afraid I might die then.
You might die. Everyone is scared of death. Thank you very much. You answer the question. I love you. Go sit down. And you're going to be part of my team, by the way. I'll choose you in my team. We are basically scared of death. Every single human being here is scared of death. If I to take you when you were small, 1 year, and I asked you to jump in a swimming pool, would you jump? No, yeah, you would. Yes, you would. The swimming pool is there. So, what society has done to you is that it has taken the God in you, it has withdrawn the God in you, it has told you you can't do it, you are not good enough, you are useless, you are everything. Who goes to church? What is the first word that they tell you when you go to church? You have to be born? Aha! That's rebirth. At any age you can be reborn. You have to take the flaws that the universe put, that the society put in you, telling you you are not. Stand up, all the girls. Stand up, all of you. And say, I'm powerful. I can do anything. I can fly. Sit down, please. Now imagine yourself on a cliff and someone tells you you can't fly. How do you know you can't? You don't have wings? Who told you you need wings to fly? But if you need wings, then you need feathers, isn't it? If you need wings, you need feathers, isn't it? Have you ever seen feathers on an aeroplane? No. Can it fly? Yes. That's it. You found another way of flying. Yes, but you will reach it. You are capable of doing anything in life. You just have to forget, you just have to take everything that people told you you can't do. Take it away. Empty the cup. Okay? Empty the cup. Those who will start with me, when I'm going to start with 5 of you, and you are in. By the way, I'll talk to Renato, you are in already. I will teach you to empty the cup and go back to your childhood. Doctor, I will teach them to empty the cup and go back to the childhood and be free from flaws. Be free from flaws. Yes, from the laws of life. They tell you you are a girl, you have to be in the kitchen. Who told you you have to be in the kitchen? I tell my daughter she does not be in the kitchen. And I tell my son, go wash the dishes. You are 11 years old. She's 6, go wash the dishes. Daddy, I say, go to the kitchen and wash the dishes for your sister.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you very much for that. I think, the same thing that we do for girls in terms of unlearning what they have been taught since they were born, we need to be doing it for boys as well. Because in our society today, toxic masculinity, we need to help our young boys to unlearn all of that as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.